Yo, what is up? What is happening? Welcome to the very first episode of Figured It Out on the very new Forge Job Network. FJN, baby. We here. But we made some changes. First, made the change of the name of the show. It used to be Figuring It Out, and we switched it to Figured It Out. It's all about wording and I'm just on the whole, like, speaking as if the shit happened already. As long as I was trying to figure it out, I would always be trying to figure it out. So I figured it out. It was a light bulb that hit me. It was like, damn, you know what? I've already figured all this shit out. Everything that I need, everything that I need to succeed. I've got it. My paper key, I've got it. I'll keep harking back, harking to that Pinky and the Brain episode where the brain, he makes a key out of paper and he gets them out the cage and they can go do some world domination. It took me forever to find that damn episode, but I finally found it using Chat GPT. Shout out to them. And yeah, I got it saved, so every time I need it, I go back and I watch it. And also, just proud of myself for coming up with the Force Job Network. It was another pivot for me, where I was doing this Bible reading YouTube channel called Screw the Bible. I was inspired by my little brother. He has this his YouTube channel called Chew the Bible, where he reads the Bible. It's like a devotional, but I wanted to do my own take on it, and I called it Screw the Bible. And me, being the artist that I am, I was pushing the limits. I was pushing all the limits, and I had it was funny because I was getting a lot of feedback, a lot of engagement from my episodes. Even one of them got called a false prophet. But on that episode, I had a video. I was doing, I think it was Genesis chapter 3, the fall of man, and Adam and Eve eating the fruit. They got scammed by the serpent. But in the background, I had a video of a dom and a sub, and the dom was forcing his hand into the sub's mouth, and like I was in front of the video, and I thought I should be good. It should be good. But when I posted it, I was like, I don't know. But then I was all like, the other voice in my head was like, screw it, just do it. And sure enough, it was good at first. And then I think the next day I went to go check the comments from my other account, and I tried to put in Screw the Bible and it wouldn't come up, and I was like, oh snap. Then I tried to switch over and it was like, hey, your channel has been taken down. You could do an appeal though. And I attempted to do the appeal, and I kind of knew it wasn't gonna have to go through. I saw the emails like, hey, we taking everything down. And I still did the appeal. And let me tell you something. Listen to me now, believe me later on. These robot slave masters are going to be worse than the human slave masters. Because at least with a human, you can reason with the human. But a bot, nah, they already got that algorithm, just like pretty much take it down. I'm like, dang, dog, like, y'all ain't get it? But all these closed doors, all they do is just either one, point me to the door I'm supposed to go to, or I build my own door, and that's what I did with Forge Job Network. So on Forge Job Network, we're gonna have all my other web series. We're gonna have, of course, Figured It Out, Handsome Artist Dating Stories, Brothers Need Therapy, Screw the Bible. I think I'm also going to do Life After Army, where I talk about my journey after getting out of the army, and then I'll occasionally do a comedy special, which it'll be Silence is Loud. So I'm looking forward to doing that. So I'm going to be busy. I just need to kind of schedule, kind of write out how I want to create this stuff, and in what order I want to do things. Like, all right, this day I'll do Handsome Artist Dating Stories, or this day I do Brothers Need Therapy. So it's all coming together. Shout out to AI. since I'm rocking my Iris and Georgetown jersey, but talking about the artificial intelligence helping me out. Shout out to Opus Clip. Y'all need to pay me. I'm shouting y'all out. But all right, let's go ahead and get right into it. So on this episode of Figured It Out, this is going to be a special 12-week, 12-part Artist Way series that I'm going to do. I was inspired by Dochi. I saw that she had documented her Artist Way journey. At first, with the Artist Way, I was a little bit skeptical about it because it's something. It was almost like a cliche thing that artists were talking about. Oh, Artist Way, Artist Way, Artist Way. And I was like, all right. I had thought about getting the book a while back, but I don't know. I guess I couldn't just, or at the time didn't justify spending the $20-something just for another book. And I ended up tossing out a lot of books. I made this move to Mexico, and then I found the audiobook on YouTube, and I was like, this is something I really should. I feel like I should read it. And then I finally found the ebook on Reddit. And I know somebody's all like, I know when I was on Reddit, somebody said you should pay for this stuff or whatever. I'm like, hey, maybe, probably kick the author back something at some point, or maybe the real currency is taking this book, be inspired to read it, and then also inspiring other artists to read the book. So I downloaded it, checked it out. Great read so far. Going back to Dochi, I'm proud of Dochi and all her success, but for the love of God, I don't want to hear that anxiety song anymore. Mainly because I went to school to be a therapist, and I already had enough of those diagnoses stuck in my head. And everybody overuses the word anxiety anyways. My anxiety, my anxiety, my anxiety. Maybe you're just a bitch. Maybe it's not your anxiety. Maybe you're just a bitch. All right, be all right. Don't be a slave to your diagnosis. Okay, your mind is very powerful. But other than that, appreciate Dochi. I know she's got the internet buzzing with the whole straight men are a red flag. But Joe Budden said it best. Like, she doesn't date straight men. She dates men down the spectrum. So, of course, straight dude, red flag. That's where people don't think. And in my worldview, like, nobody is 100% straight. I'm only 2%. And I joke that every time it's time to pay the rent, wish I was 20%. But hey, not gay enough for that life. I do miss the attention sometimes. I did when I lived in Atlanta. I lived next to a Publix, and I had a whole gay fan club up in there. And I know they missed me since I moved. I wonder who's taking my place. Nobody. I mean, can you really call yourself a bad bitch if you can't pull all the genders? But anyway, let's go ahead and get right into it. So I guess I'll summarize what I read, and then I'll go into the homework assignment, because you get assignments for the week. And the week got disrupted for me because I got a tooth extracted last Monday, and then about halfway through the healing process, I got sick. I blame myself, because I know I'm supposed to be on that brat diet, but I didn't follow it all the way through. And then also, I think my body was pushing out the anesthesia, and man, I was throwing up for like 2-3 days straight. I could not hold anything down. It was a struggle. It sucked. It slowed me down, but I did get a lot of downloads. Like it was so many creative downloads, so many like ideas that and I was like, all right, bet. But it did I wasn't able to do my artist date. So every week you're supposed to do an artist date. I didn't do my artist date, and I didn't get in my 20-minute walk, which for this week I definitely will. I had planned for my artist date. I had planned to take my dog to get her nails done and go get pampered. And yeah, because she needs to get it done. And I could do her nails, but I don't want to mess it up because she got all dark nails. It's a lot. I'm probably making it too much, but I just wanted to show my dog little Thelma some appreciation by taking her to the groomer and letting her have a spa day. That was gonna bring me joy. So for this week, that'll be our artist day, and I've got to walk down there anyway, so I knock out 2 for 1. But in chapter 1, it kind of goes into talking about affirmations, artist affirmations for ourselves. Some of them, let me see, I'm reading it off the book now. As I create and listen, I will be led. Creativity is the creator's will for me. My creativity breaks or heals myself and others. So just having all these affirmations, because being an artist, you can really get stuck in your head. You're, they say, we're our own worst critic. So sometimes you just got to read those affirmations. And one thing that the author was talking about with those, I think, blurbs, or like basically these negative things that we tell ourselves or other people tell us that blocks us. And I really, honestly, like I'm at a point where I don't have a lot of that. My confidence is really just leveled up more and more. Um, just the more I create, the more ideas I have. Um, yes, like I just feel limitless. Like I think I posted something where I feel more like the God that I am when I create. Now, I know that I want access to different things so I can create different things. I know I have my eye on this. I think it's a Boss RC something looper. Um, I just want to be able to use that to create different stuff. Access to different programs so my art can look different, and just try different mediums. But I know all that's going to happen. I know for now I need to use what the fuck that I have to create what I can, and I'm doing that. I've got my guitars. I've got my Roland SP 404. I can do DJ sets. I do plan on ordering a battery pack so I can go out on the beachfront and go play my music out there. I put out a whole project that I created on my MPC. I put it out on Bandcamp. It's called Akai Tape. So that was my first Bandcamp release. What else? I also put out. What else did I put out? Oh, songs made on phone, which I created the whole thing, the whole project, the production, the vocals, everything on BandLab. All I did was I exported it and I mastered it and I could have mastered it on BandLab too, but I don't know. Maybe for the next one, maybe songs made on phone too. That'll be mastered on BandLab. And is there anything else I've been working on? Um, I really need to work on this book Red Lake Volume 3. It's just writing for me is just it's a task, but I just need to chop at that tree. But yeah, we got those affirmations, and so we also have our assignment. And so for the week 1 assignment, the first question or part of it was I had to name 3 old enemies of my creative self-worth. These are like people, like I guess part of my villain story, or those bosses in a video game that I confronted. And the reason why I'm naming these 3 people is because they was hating on a nigga. There we go. I'll just say it like that. Yeah, I'll go ahead and knock out the first one. And the reason why I'm using names because I feel like it's important for people. Like, you never know, they might hear it, and these are things that I would tell them to their faces, and I pretty much have for the most part. Yeah, but sometimes you need to. I would love to hear what people think about me. Sometimes, like maybe I have some blind spots I don't know about. But we'll get. Let me see. The first one, I put Maya Bailey. That was because of that whole. Actually, it's not part of the story. It's not part of the assignment. I have a habit of doing that. So I'm just gonna say the name and get the assignment, then do the assignment, and then Timbaland, and then Liz Durr. And so part number two was I had to tell a story about one of those enemies that I have. And I picked Liz Durr because she came along at a time when I was trying to really get into the Atlanta stand-up comedy scene. And I was I was trying to tell comedy at Joe's Coffee Shop in East Atlanta, it's the more liberal side of Atlanta. And I pointed out that one of the audience members looked like Caitlyn Jenner. Yeah, I wasn't trying to. I wasn't. The intention wasn't. Impact does outweigh intent, but sometimes you got to know the intent to understand why the impact was. There was man bashing going on in there, and I was like, all right, here we go. And I was like, oh, equal opportunity, huh? And so it's more so trans awareness. And I pointed out, hey, we got a celebrity in the house. Look right over at the white trans woman. Say, hey, Caitlyn Jenner. Now I understand, in the trans community, they're like, oh, you don't want to be outed and all this and all everything that goes with that. And me learning later that the trans people hate Caitlyn Jenner. I was like, anyways. And I guess they don't like straight presenting men talking about their issues. And I'm like, the fuck, this is hypocrisy. You can talk about us, but once again, equal opportunity. And so from that joke, I went on to talk about how there is a vagina civil war amongst the women, talking about who's a real woman, the trans versus the cis women. And then they weren't liking that even more. And then I went to talking about how I was like, let me switch genders. And I was talking about how women transitioning to men sound like they're going through puberty. And I just went through the whole. These are things that I saw on TikTok, like a woman transitioning to a man and going through the progression of being on testosterone. Yeah, and we're having it. So I ended up going back, try to go back a week later, and it was I don't think it wasn't Liz. I can't. Sometimes these white women look alike to me, and she told me that I couldn't do stand up there anymore. I'm like, what the fuck? And then so that led to what happened at 529. The host there, he was like, I heard about what happened at Joe's. You can still do stand up, but kind of watch what you say. And I was like, I ain't like that. But for the fact of like me trying to get my foot in the door, and 529 was right down the street from where I lived, and the Atlanta stand up comedy scene is like the rooms are all spread out. So you know what? In my comedy, I wasn't liking it. So excuse me. But then a few weeks later, I did comedy at Laughing Library, and it was a one white dude I knew from comedy, and then this white chick. And I'm going into my set. I'm kind of having fun. The white dude's playing the piano. I'm just freestyling it, and then I talk about the incident that happened in Joe's, and then she said, "Oh, that's why you got blacklisted." And I was like, "Oh, it was you." And I was like, and she was like, you can't call white trans woman Caitlyn Jenner. I was like, why not? Because she tried to say, I was like, let's have a conversation. And you tried to say, oh, well, if I were to call any black person Eric Andre, then that would be offensive. And I'm like, no, it wouldn't. This is comedy. And my whole thing was I was fighting for free speech. And so I was like, all right. And then I did my research. And then like she couldn't beat me at an argument. And so she walked out, and and then it escalated to where I tried to go back to 529. They said I couldn't go back to 529, and then in the comedy Discord, they put me on a BOLO list. Be on the lookout. I was like, what? Talk about forces making people feel uncomfortable or unsafe. I'm like, what? I'm just telling jokes. I'm not the problem. There are some real creeps and folks that are trying to take the coochie in this whole art and comedy game, or the bussy, if that's what they into. I was like, you know what? I chilled for a while, and yeah. So, And some other stuff happened that just led me to eventually just retiring from stand-up comedy. So I'm still pivoting. I'm just going to take the comedy thing to YouTube. So I did take down all my comedy off YouTube because I got flagged for hate speech, and I'm not like, nah, I ain't trying to deal with this. So that's pretty much the story. And then I had to write a letter to the editor. So here's my letter: Dear editor, Liz Durr can suck my dick. I hope she falls in the toilet when she goes to take a piss. Sincerely, Forrest. And the reason why I ain't a big fan of Liz Durr because she's the one. She likes to hang around black people that she can control, and I found out that the racism is mixed into a lot of liberalism because they'll take somebody else's cause and then shut your speech down. So there's that. All right, so next part, talk about the creative self-worth champions, the ones that uplifted me and were like, hey, you could do this, and pushed me. It would be Mr. Murray. He was my private saxophone teacher. Shout out to him. He has gone on to the upper room. He would teach me the importance of practicing. He knew when I didn't practice, and he would get on me about it. And then there was Miss Ringo, rest in peace to her as well. She was my 7th grade science teacher. She also had a Jerry curl, so we used to get nervous when she would be around the Bunsen burners. And she used to tell my parents to whoop me. Like when I was, she knew my brilliance. She saw it. But anytime I was acting up or getting distracted in class, like she would tell my parents, like, "Look, he ain't doing his work. Y'all need to whoop him." And then finally, the homie Earth. I mean, I could put my brother, but he's just a mainstay of my life. So I was like, let me get away from family and friends and all that. So, but Earth, he was one of the first comedians that got it. That was all like, I see what he's doing. I like it. And we did a lot of creating together. We did Headliner News. We did the Headliner News comedy show. I did great at that. And yeah. So shout out to Earth. So shout out to Mr. Murray. Shout out to Miss Ringo. And shout out to Earth. And then, all right, so you got to write a letter to one of your champions. So I wrote to Mr. Murray. Mr. Murray, thank you for pushing me to be better and teaching me the importance of practicing my craft. I'm doing my best to apply it during my guitar practice. I hope you're doing well in your next life. Sincerely, Forrest. All right, and then you got to come up with 5 other lives, like what you like, other lives, like just what you imagine yourself being. And so my 5 other lives will be quarterback of a Super Bowl winning football team, 7-time winning NBA champion basketball player. You know, I got to pass up Jordan. When my game would embody Kobe's, Jordan's, LeBron's, and Kevin Durant's. And then I'd also be a Grammy winning folk singer, like strictly folk. Like that's it. That's all I would do is folk music. That's it. I have my guitar. I have me my country sounding white woman, not white woman, my bad. Country sounding black sister from North Carolina that had that thick ass, like, yeah, you sound like a white woman, but you black. And then that's 3. And then I'd be an astronaut because I wanted to be an astronaut. I wanted to go to space camp. I was actually going right to NASA to say, hey, I want to be the first kid in space. But my grandma pooped on that dream. She was like, no, you can't do it. And then I also be a traveling gigolo / evangelist. Hey, I'd be fucking the church ladies. I don't know. I'm a gigolo. What's that? How you go? I don't know. I'm just fascinated with the gigolo lifestyle. And then let me see. I didn't have any negative affirmation blurts. I'm great. I know I'm great. I will live my life. I will live my life of a great one. And so I did for the week. I think I did 5 or 6 out of 7 morning pages. Well, my morning pages are just journal days. Like you're supposed to write 3 pages when you wake up, but my schedule is like I wake up when I wake up. Sometimes I wake up at 1. Sometimes I've woken up at 3. I wake up when I wake up. So I try to write at least 3 pages a day. So that helps. And I think that's it. That's all I got. That was great. So that has been week 1 of Artist Way. I look forward to seeing what week 2 has in store. Is there anything else? Nah, that's been another wonderful episode of Figured It Out on the Forrest Job Network. And if you got any questions, concerns, comments, complaints, Yelp reviews, gripes, just, leave them in the comments. And y'all be great. Oh, yeah. If you want a copy of The Artist Way, the ebook copy, holla at your boy. In the comments, shoot me an email. You go to my website, forrestjob.com. That's FORRESTJOB.com. I'll put that right somewhere. It's probably just going to be there the whole time. But yeah, forrestjob.com. Hit me up and I'll send you a copy. Y'all be blessed. Y'all be great.